Hello and thanks for watching again, guys. This is going to be my third episode, and it's going to be setting up your deck. So what I've done here is I've sorted, I know that I wanted to do a black zombie deck, mostly black. I'd prefer to do all black if I could, however there's a little bit of control issues, and I'm going to be looking at some mixtures of colors, but primarily black. So I split up my black cards between creatures, enchantments, sorceries, and instants, and then I've got a pile for my artifacts that I would like to use, and then these are my different colors of cards. I've got some blue that I would like to maybe incorporate, and possibly green, and also these are some multicolored. I just realized that two of the cards that I got them. These guys I would like to incorporate a lot. So, to get started, the way I set this up is I usually go by creatures first. So I'm just going to get all these out of the way, and also going to move these out of the way as well. And there's a limit to how many, or there's not a limit, there is a minimum to how many cards you can have. You can have 60 cards, or you have to have 60 cards, and there's no maximum. So you don't really have to worry about a maximum. However, it gets kind of hard when you have a whole bunch of cards to actually pull what you want to pull. And so any more than 60 cards, I guess like the little pamphlet said, as I was reading through it, it said, you know, any more than 60 cards is just kind of like, well, you're pulling cards, but you might not be pulling the ones you want to be pulling. You might not be pulling the combos that you want to be pulling, and really that's what we want to be doing. So right now what I'm doing is I'm sorting the cards, my main cards, into 3 separate piles based on how much mana they take to cast. This is your cheap cards, your 1 to 2 mana cost. This is 3 to 4, and then this is anything over 5. I find that this seems to work best and seems to really give you kind of a good idea of, you know, where your mana is going to be going, how much mana you need in the deck. If you can get away with having more smaller creatures, then you can also get away with less mana and then have more creatures in it. So, and don't ever underestimate the power of cheap creatures. First of all, they're really helpful in blocking, and some of them, you know, depending on what their abilities are, they can be really, really helpful. And you can just, like my plan for this deck is just to have so many littler creatures out there that my opponent's not even going to be able to block it. They'll be able to take out a couple of them, you know, whatever, they block 2 of them, they die, and then I bring them right back from the graveyard, and it's just, you know, I'm hitting them, just kind of outnumbering them basically is my goal for this deck. And it turns out that I actually have more in the kind of the middle section. The 3 to 4 seems to be my most cards. There's not a lot of, I only have a couple of really big zombie cards that are even over, I don't think any of them even go over 6. Nope, they're all 5. So the zombie cards tend to be a little bit weaker, but they tend to be a little bit more, you can just kind of throw them away and attack like crazy with them. So I'm going to start out. Here we have Highborn Ghoul. I wish the camera would focus on that. It has Intimidate, so creatures can't block it unless it's the same color. I'm going to throw that in. It's a 2/1 for 2. Duty Bound Dead has Exalted, so whenever a creature attacks alone, it gets a 1/1. I can regenerate it. I'm not too worried about that one. Ravenous Rats. When it enters the battlefield, your opponent discards a card. I've got 2 of those. They're 1/1 for 2. It's not too bad, but I'm going to wait on that one. I am going to throw in 2 of these Walking Corpses. There's nothing special. They're just a 2/2 for 2. So I'm going to put that in a pile as well. Knight of Infamy. Protection from white and Exalted. So basically white creatures can't damage him at all. So I'm going to throw him in there. That'll help against anybody with angels. This guy I have not played with yet. I just got him in that zombie pack that I ordered, and he works a little bit differently, and I've never seen a card like this before, but you pay 3 to level him up. And so when he first comes out, he's a 1/1 for 2. And you level him up, and then levels 1 through 3, so you're putting counters on him. 1 through 3, he's a 4/2, and then after you get past 4, he's a 7/3 with regenerate. And I've got 2 of these guys, and I'm going to play with 2 of them. I don't know how well they'll work yet. I think they'll be kind of a cool card to play with. Here's another Highborn Ghoul. I'm going to throw him in with the other one. Unfortunately, they got a little bit mixed up. Butcher Ghoul, he's got Undying, so that's always good. If he doesn't have a 1/1 counter on him when he dies, you can put a 1. You can bring him back to the battlefield and then put a 1/1 counter on him. I'm going to play with him. Tormented Soul, I've got a couple of these. He's a 1/1 for 1, and he's unblockable, but he also can't block. I'm going to throw 1 in for now. I think I have 3 of them total. But I'm going to throw 1 in, and then I'll probably sideboard the rest of them. And then if he turns out to be good, then I'll start playing with him. I haven't actually played with the black deck yet, so this is all testing, and then this is just me. You know, this isn't a professional build. This is just how I build it. I'm going to throw him in. Vampire Interloper. I got quite a few of these guys. I got 4. He's flying. He's a 2/1 for 1. Sorry, hold on. You can't see it there. But he can't block. And I want to run more zombie cards because more of my sorcery cards are going to help out with that. So I'm not even going to worry about him right now. If you're running a vampire deck, he'd probably be pretty good because a lot of cards, if vampires do damage to target player, they get counters on them. Try and hold this so that the camera will focus. Here's my other 2 Tormented Souls. I'm going to get rid of those. Black Cat, when it dies, target opponent discards a card at random. Get 2 of those. I'm not going to play them. I would play Ravenous Rats over that because when it enters the battlefield, they discard a card versus when it dies. And as you said, green cards that I wanted to play, you'll understand why this is. I would rather play this one over the Black Cat because they're the same cost. And they're both 1/1s, but this one's when it enters the battlefield. We're almost done with this pile. Sangrophage. The beginning of your upkeep, tap Sangrophage unless you pay 2 life. It's a 3/3 for 2. It's cheap, but you can't really use it unless you pay life. So unless you're moving really quickly, or preventing or healing yourself, I wouldn't play this card. It's personal preference. I just don't see how I could make it work. And Rotting Rats, kind of similar to Ravenous Rats. Discards a card. Each player discards a card when it comes into play, and you can unearth it, basically use it again, and then remove it from the game. Blind Creeper is a 3/3 for 3, and if a player casts a spell, Blind Creeper gets a -1/-1 until the end of the turn. So he's basically always going to be a 2/2 because usually somebody casts a spell, somebody summons something. There's not a lot of times when somebody doesn't play anything. So I guess I find that it's probably not worth it to have him, but I could be wrong. I'm not a professional. So there you go. Let's see, Liliana's Shade. This is the medium pack. There's a lot of cards to go through there. Liliana's Shade. When she enters the battlefield, you may search your library for Swamp, reveal it, and put it in your hand, and then shuffle your library, and you get a 1/1. She's only 1/1 for 4. You could justify it, but I'm not gonna. Escaped Null. I like this card. Like I said, I haven't actually played with any of these, but when I was going through it, I thought it was pretty cool. It has lifelink, so any damage it deals, it gains that much health. Or you gain that much health, and whenever it becomes blocked, it gains 5/0 until the end of the turn. So I think that would be a good one, especially if you enchant it. So I'm going to throw that one in my pile as well. I'm actually making. Let me move these up. I'm actually making separate piles here. I've got my cheap pile, my medium pile, and then I'll have my expensive pile. Falcon Wraith Noble. He's got flying. He's a 2/2 for 4. And whenever him or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I think that's really they're going to take damage, or their guys will be tapped, or if they do kill him, I still go up and they still go down. Vampire Nighthawk, I like this card as well. Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink. He's a 2/3 with Flying and Death Touch and Lifelink for 3, which is not bad. And he is not undead, he's a vampire, but you're going to justify this in saying I need some flying defense, because really the weakness is going to be flying. Gravedigger, I've got 2 of these guys. A zombie, when he enters the battlefield, I can return a target creature card from my graveyard to my hand. That'll be really nice, especially to just keep my guys coming. Bloodhunter Bat, I have 2 more of these guys. I'll have to find them because I'm going to hopefully play with all 3 of them. What they do, they're a 2/2 for 4 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, target player loses 2 health and you gain 2. Good card just to keep bringing, and if you keep bringing these guys back, you're going to keep doing damage to them. So 3 of those guys. I could end up changing the quantities. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I haven't play tested this yet. So this is just kind of me going through and figuring it out. Infectious Host. He's a 1/1 for 3, and when he is put into the graveyard, target player loses 2 life. So basically, if you don't kill me, I'll kill you, and if you kill me, I'll still kill you. So I like that. Drive for the Dead. I also have a couple more of these guys as well. Here, I have 3 of these guys. He's a vampire, but when he dies, he's a 3/2, and he's only 4. And when he dies, you can take a target creature card from your graveyard, mana cost of 2 or less. Well, I'm hopefully going to be playing with a lot of cheap creatures, so you put them back onto the battlefield. So I'm going to play with 2 of them, and I'm going to sideboard the other one. That's not my sideboard. I'll start a sideboard up here. Vesper Ghoul and Ragamuffin. I'm not going to go over them. Don't really like them a whole lot. Just mana. Carrion Howler. Pay 1 life and he gets a bonus. Otherwise he's not horribly good, because he's still 2/2. Just that Walking Corpse is same thing. Don't like these guys. Sightless Ghoul might be an interesting one to play with. I have too many cards to go through right now, so I'm probably not going to put him in. He can't block, but he is undying, and he's a 2/2 for 3, so he's a good one to just keep pounding him with. I'll put him in the sideboard because he could be important. Abattoir Ghoul, Toyer, however you want to say that. First strike, and if he deals damage to the player, if you kill a creature with him, you gain health equal to their toughness. I'm going to throw those in the sideboard as well. Harbor Bandit, no. Servant of Nerfox, no. Nerforax. Searchlight Geist, not bad if you need more flying. I'm going to throw him into the sideboard for now, or the suggested sideboard, I guess. Not holding these in the right spot, I'm sorry. He's got haste and exalted, no. Lifelink, not really. I'm going to be done with this pile. Throw those back over there. Got my sideboard. I'm going to have to end this one really quick. We'll hopefully get through these ones quick. Farbog Boneflinger puts a 2/2 counter, -2/-2 on when he gets in. Not the best. Dredge Reaver. He's just a beast. 4/3 for 5. Not too bad. I'm going to put this guy in. The Renegade Demon. He's a 5/3 for 5. I'm going to throw him in. And I don't want that one either. Yeah, so just go through your cards, sort them by price or by cost, and then get them, kind of get a pile of the creatures that you want to work with. And then once you do that, then we're going to go over the sorceries and instant cards. So thanks for watching, guys, and be sure to tune into the next video.